Radical self-care. Radical self-care for me is saying within my innermost spirit, I don't give a fuck about who it is. I am number one. People tend to have the tendency to care sometimes. I would say women specifically, because we are nurturers for the most part. We have a tendency to want to take care of everybody and make sure that everyone is cared for. But then sometimes we end up famished. We end up dehydrated. We end up dealing with exhaustion, and we're sitting in the emergency room, or we need to take a day off because we can't get it together, or we miss meetings, or we miss our deadlines because we're so busy putting making sure everybody else has theirs. I'm going to make sure that my cup is full and overflowing before I'm concerned with anybody else, because you can't do anything for someone else if you're not all together. For those who have ever taken a flight, when they talk about seatbelts and caring for someone else if the oxygen mask should fall down, you should put yours on first before you try to assist somebody else. Because if you can't breathe, how the hell are you going to help somebody else? That is part of what goes through my mind when I think of radical self care. If I'm dealing with a person who I have been friends with for 25 years, right? And dealing with this person affects my mental health in a negative way, or it affects my physical health in a negative way, in the sense of panic attacks, or I lose my sense of breath, or I'm always anxious at the thought of interacting with this person or something. Guess what? I probably don't need to interact with their ass. Or I probably need to have a conversation that is quite harsh to get to the root of the matter. A relationship that matters requires a conversation, and that is personal, that is professional. I don't care what the situation is. If you are affected by interacting with someone or a situation, then there needs to be some method that you have in place to make sure that you're cared for, because you are the person who is responsible for you. That other person is not responsible for you. So make sure that you square it away before you go trying to deal with this other person. And if this person is causing you harm, then you need to tell that fucking person. Honesty, right? Honesty is important. And you can't assume that someone else knows. We're not mind readers. Just even if your face talks, people out there whose face talks, because my lips will be closed and my face will be just yammering on. They still don't know what the fuck is going on with you. So you need to tell them. Be tactful, be respectful, but get your point across, because you matter. And for those of you who may think that you don't, you do. I don't know you from a bag of freaking potatoes, but you matter. And I believe that within the core of my being. So you need to believe it. You need to take your ass to a mirror and look at it and say, I matter. I am enough. And if you believe that, then you start to change things within your life. Your relationships start to be more of quality as opposed to quantity. I wouldn't care if I had 10 fucking friends. I really would. I really don't care. Because if those 10 friends are 10 toes down on the square, and if I need them, if I need to talk, if I need to cry, if I need to laugh, if I need to shuck it up, if they're there for me, that's what matters. Who cares about having 1,000 people in your life that don't care about you? It doesn't matter. Radical self care requires that you have quality over quantity. Those two solid friends that you might have, that's more than 2,000 people grinning and skinning up in your damn face. But if you need somebody to talk to cry on a shoulder, or to share a moment of something that's great happening in your life, those two people are way more important than any number of shucking and jiving fools you can have in your life. I don't know who's going to listen. I don't know who's going to give a damn, but I'm telling you from personal experience, the people of quality matter. The situations of quality matter. So when you start curating that type of life for yourself, your radical self-care is like an autopilot. You don't have to struggle for it because there's less stress in your life. So there's less reactionary things going on in your life. You don't have to necessarily be reactionary because the proactive steps that you took to make sure that you had quality as opposed to quantity is what reduces stress, which is a great thing because stress can kill. Literally, it can kill you. So, if you care about your life, start caring about yourself, start caring about that radical self-care so that you can make sure that your life is the life that you want, not just the life that you got. It's plenty of us walking through the world. We're just going along to get along. But life doesn't necessarily have to be that. And I know it might seem like it's all easier said than done. Uh, it's gonna take some work, but you can't be freaking lazy. You gotta do the work. And that's doing the work on yourself as well as doing the work with other people. And the way that you treat yourself should be what people see. And they should tread lightly if they think they're gonna run up on you with some bullshit because you should not tolerate that. It took me a long time to understand that. And I don't know who needs to hear that, but yeah, start doing that. Start making people recognize. You understand? Put yourself first and then require that they do the same. And if they don't do it, I don't care who it is, you will be eliminated from my circle because you matter. I believe it, and I believe you should believe it too. So let's get with the getting.